Ever since I was a little kid, I've always loved the Pokemon series, and with the release of ZA getting closer and closer, I wanted to go over some of my favorite cards, my game files, and also what I plan on doing for this channel, as this is my first video I'll be doing. One of my favorite cards, I'd say, right now, overall, would have to be this Rayquaza VMAX. This Rayquaza VMAX means a lot to me, as I really like the artwork, the gold, black, and green design of it. I got this probably mid last year and have held on to it ever since. Now, currently it doesn't hold a lot of value, but even if it does go up, I can't see myself selling this card. It's just one of my favorite cards. It's just, the artwork design is so good. If you do want to know what set this is from the Silver Tempest set in the Sword and Shield era. Sword and Shield era was by far my most nostalgic era, as that's when I started collecting Pokemon cards. I have gotten sets from the X and Y, Sun and Moon, and even the Black and White era of cards, but never really took it seriously up until recently. So, personally, this is just one of my favorite cards. Besides this one, which I also have, which is a Solgaleo GX. Now, I've had this in my collection for probably about a year. A friend did give it to me. I really wanted this card, so I was lucky enough to get it from him. He was able to part ways with this card. This is from the original Sun and Moon base set. The GX cards are overall pretty cool, as they're just really good artistically, and I really do wish Pokemon would return to the Rainbow Secret Rares, as it gave us a lot of variety in the artwork. You know, we got the Rainbow Charizard. Everyone was trying to chase that back then, and it was really cool seeing how a lot of people came to collect cards. Unfortunately, the hobby has been getting less and less of a hobby and more of a quick cash grab for a lot of people. With the increase in scalpers and just overall the increase of price of Pokemon cards, I have slowed down quite a bit, but have been getting back into cards a little bit more now that I've had some extra money that I've saved up for quite a while. I also have this Garchomp card. This is Cynthia's Garchomp. I have two of these, the number 215 from Destined Rivals, and I also have this one, which is a promo from, I believe, Destined Rivals. Yeah, this is a Destined Rivals card, so this is a promo. Basically, it's the same exact thing as number 215. I can't really see that many changes with it, as it just looks like the same card. So let me know if you find any changes within this card or know about any changes. It just kind of looks like the same artwork. Now, one thing I did recently pick up that I really like are these two Nintendo Power magazines. These magazines are for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, as well as the other one, which is for Pokemon Platinum. Now, I have been going through Pokemon Heart Gold. I've been going through a bunch of Pokemon games, but recently it's been a lot of Heart Gold and Black and White too. This right here is my original 2DS XL Pikachu edition. I got this last year, and if you can tell, it's actually in pretty decent condition. I really like this thing, and it offers a lot of good titles, even outside of Pokemon. One of my favorite game franchises of all time is Pokemon, but another one of mine is also Zelda and Resident Evil. And while Resident Evil does have a few titles on the 3DS, it was never really my main focus, as I originally got the 2DS and my original 3DS, which I do not have anymore, unfortunately. I originally got it for Pokemon and Zelda. Mario as well, but the Mario titles on the 3DS are not personally my favorite. If I had to pick one of my favorites, I'd say probably Super Mario 3D Land, as it's a very good game. It kind of takes the 3D aspect of most Mario games and turns it more into how the 2D games are structured, the new Super Mario Bros. Series, which I am not fully fond of, just because of how bland the new Super Mario Bros. Games were. Mario Wonder was a nice change of pace, and with the release of the Switch 2, which I also do have, I'm really looking forward to the Mario, Pokemon, and upcoming Zelda games that they'll have for us. Hopefully someday they'll add Pokemon games from previous generations to the Switch 2, but I think it's highly unlikely. Another thing I have is this modded Pikachu Edition 3DS XL, not 2DS XL. It's actually my friend's, but he's letting me borrow it. So, one of the games I've been playing on this is Pokemon Ultra Moon. Personally, I'm not a fan of some of the character changes and overall changes of the game, but it's still fun nonetheless. But the game I have probably put in the most time in, as of recent, is Pokemon Y. Unfortunately, this isn't my original copy, which my original copy did have quite a bit of stuff on it, but I was able to get this, and with my friend letting me borrow his custom 3DS XL, I was actually able to use PKSM, which is a software for the 3DS and 2DS systems that allows you to get all of the mystery gifts previously obtainable, which are now not obtainable in the previous generations of Pokemon games, including the DS titles. So right now, I just put in Pokemon Y, and I'm going to go into the file just to show you guys a little bit of what I have done and what I've obtained. If you were wondering what theme I had on the 3DS, you can actually get it to the theme shop, which is currently closed down along with the eShop, sadly. But if you have a modded 3DS, you can get these themes, and it's called Dire Moon, which is the Majora's Mask themed DS. Currently, I'm in a Poke Center. I just healed up my team, which consists of Charizard, Lucario, Yveltal, Garchomp, Snorlax, and Greninja. Greninja is my favorite starter of, evolution of all time, which is the third evolution. Froakie is not my personal favorite of all time. My favorite starter of all time is probably Chimchar, Scorbunny, or I'd say probably, if I had to pick, to be honest with you, probably Litten. Litten is a great starter. But yeah, this is my team, and I currently just added Garchomp onto my team. So that was actually really cool. But right now, for my team, I did change it up quite a bit, as I did add certain newer Pokemon to my Switch system, or 3DS system, sorry, and I have gotten quite a bit of Pokemon in this. So this is my first box right here. I'm not going to be going over every single Pokemon name, but to name some of my favorites in my first box, one of my favorites in my first box would have to be Honedge. It's a really cool Pokemon, as it's shaped like a sword, and it's probably one of the most interesting designs in Pokemon X and Y. So I did catch that one, and I really like it. Of course, I have some Evolutions, Flareon, Jolteon, and a few other ones, but I don't have every single evolution in this game, which I am currently working on, as that's my next step in this. I also have Zygarde, which is one of my favorites in this generation. I have Gyarados. Gyarados is one of my favorite water types of all time, and that's why I truly believe Magikarp is not fully useless, as it evolves into Gyarados. So without Magikarp, you would never have Gyarados, which is why I believe Magikarp is just as important as any other Pokemon. I also have Mewtwo, which is a level 70. You can catch that as one of the legendaries available in the game. Now, there aren't currently a lot of legendaries in this game, unfortunately, but that's not all Pokemon has to offer. A lot of Pokemon is catching, the story. Some stories are better than others, but you get the point overall. Of course, I have a Gengar, which is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I have an extra Gabite, even though I don't fully need it due to me having Garchomp now. And I also have a few other boxes of just regular Pokemon. But going over to my other boxes, I have some current event Pokemon that were previously available, such as Meganium, I don't know how to pronounce that, Foley, so I apologize if I butchered that, but I also have Regirock, I have Dragonite, Typhlosion, Sylveon, Regice, another Charizard, which is a lower level than the one I currently have on my team, but I have another Garchomp, a Registeel, a Feraligatr, Glalie, Celebi, Diancie, Rayquaza, which is actually a shiny, if you can see right here. This is my shiny Rayquaza, which I was debating putting on my team, but as of right now, I don't think I'm going to fully put it on my team, because I really have no use for it currently, which I actually have 2 shiny Rayquazas from using the PKSM app, as well as a Kangaskhan, a Pikachu, a Hoopa, another Gengar, a Darkrai, another Charizard, as well as Jirachi and Infernape. Those are my current Pokemon I have in my 14th box, which is where I keep most of my event Pokemon. For my Pokédex, I also have a total of 198 Pokemon filled in the National Dex out of, I believe, if we check here, out of 720, which is quite a lot of Pokemon, but nothing compared to what we have currently in the most recent generation. I think we have over 1,000 total, which I'm not fully 100% sure about the actual full amount, but that's okay, just because, you know, I'm not really, like, keeping up with every single Pokemon ever released. I just kind of like the ones I like, and I've just been playing a bunch of Pokemon games recently. I'm actually in Lumiose City, which is one of my favorite towns / cities in any Pokemon game. And if I save here and I go back, I can close this DS down and I will put this away. Another game I've been playing a lot recently, digitally. I do have a physical copy of it, but a game I've been playing digitally, besides Pokemon, has been Animal Crossing New Leaf. Now, I love this game. I personally find it a lot better than New Horizons. You can see the copies in here, the booklet as well. But it's one of my favorite games of all time, especially one of my favorite Animal Crossing games. I do have New Horizons on the Switch, but I really hope that they bring this game back, as it's one of my favorite Animal Crossing games. Despite not being able to customize things outside fully, you do have options to build structures and donate the structures that you can get through your town hall, and you can, like, at a playground, you can basically do a bunch of stuff. But to anyone who hasn't played New Leaf, please play New Leaf. It is one of the best Animal Crossing games, and one of the best, if not the best, 3DS game of all time, which is my personal favorite of all time. But I'd say probably my top 3 games on the 3DS would be, number 1 would be New Leaf, number 2 would be A Link Between Worlds, which is the Zelda game, and the sequel / like add-on or next, I think it's a sequel. I believe it's more of a sequel, but to A Link to the Past, which A Link to the Past is a very good Zelda game as well. But I'd say after that, my 3rd favorite game of all time on the 3DS would be Pokemon X and Y. Now, I personally prefer Pokemon Y, as I do like Yveltal better than Xerneas, but that's just me. Some future videos that I will be doing is I will be doing Pokemon card openings. I am getting some Prismatic tonight, so I will probably be doing a video on me opening those. I did buy some Destined Rivals today. I actually got this Rapidash. GameStop was only limiting 5 per person. That's mainly to prevent scalpers. However, if you do have 2 accounts through GameStop, you are able to get an extra 5. But currently, I only have 1 account, so I only was able to get 5. And unfortunately, out of the 5 I opened, I only got the Rapidash, which is still really cool. I do really like the artwork on the set, but it's worth a little under $10. So for the $31 I spent on the cards, because I also did get a binder, so it's around $40 in total. But for the $30 I spent on cards, I only got 1 card, and I made $10 essentially, which would mean I only made $10 out of the 30 I got. So that is very disappointing, but overall, I do really like the Rapidash card, and am somewhat happy with the pull I got. However, I will be getting Prismatic later on today, and we'll be recording my opening of that. However, my last Prismatic opening was not very lucky. If you like this video, like and subscribe, as I do plan on doing more videos in the future. Haul videos, so if I get something new, I'll be going over my new product I've got. as well as Pokemon card openings and videos like this where I just kind of talk about my favorite games, what I like about Pokemon, and overall my experience and what I've caught. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.